Let's get to the next story.
56. Looks great, man.
Looks like he's 38, by the way. Okay. Bill Clinton, okay, he was deposed. And while he was being deposed, Trump says he doesn't like seeing Bill Clinton deposed by Congress. This is Trump. And then Bill turns around and says something about Trump. Go ahead, Rob.
I don't like seeing him deposed, but, they certainly went after me a lot more than that. I don't like seeing him. Look, I like him, and I don't like seeing him deposed.
Okay, so that's that. Now watch page 12, what Bill Clinton had to say about him. Rob, this is James Comer repeating what Bill Clinton said in court. Go ahead, Rob.
President Clinton said, that's for you to decide. And the president went on to say that the president, Trump, has never said anything to me to make me think he was involved, and he meant with Epstein. So I know there's a lot of curiosity about President Trump. I thought that was an interesting thing that President Clinton said. So I'll let the Democrats have the podium and they can answer your questions, but we'll come.
Okay, so what do you think about that, Vinny? Two presidents defending each other. How do you process that?
I don't know. I think there's a leverage thing at play. By the way, shout out to him because Adam, you love doing shout outs. Look at how good he looks dealing with Hillary. I can only imagine.
What does he say here?
Sucks the life out of you. Play this.
This is his statement after the deposition.
Go ahead.
He looks great.
I just finished testifying in front of the House Oversight Committee. I did it for two reasons. First, I love my country, including our Constitution. And America was built on the idea that no person is above the law, even presidents, especially presidents, and that we should all live under the same set of rules. This kind of democracy requires every person to play their part. And I hope that by being there today, we can bring ourselves just a little further away from the brink and back to being a country where we can disagree civilly and we can search for truth and justice, and that it outweighs the partisan urge to score points and create spectacle.
You can pause it right there. And by the way, some people are saying that a little bit of strategy here, they did this because what's going to come around is they're going to be asking Melania and Trump to be deposed, because if two previous presidents were deposed, why not Melania and Trump? Because there's pictures of them with Epstein as well. So here, I believe it's a Democratic congressman, Rob, if I'm not mistaken, and he said, we asked the President Clintons to be deposed, and now, go ahead, Rob.
Said from day one that we want to talk to former President Bill Clinton, and the other person we want to talk to is current President Donald Trump. And so we should be very clear that now that we're going to hear from former President Clinton, I hope that Chairman Comer and the Republicans will join us in demanding that the person who actually appears more times in the files than the former president, who we want to speak with, is President Donald Trump.
There is no indication, zero, zip, zilch, nada, that Secretary Clinton had any knowledge of Epstein's crimes. She submitted a sworn statement that she never met Jeffrey Epstein, and my fear.
I believe her.
You believe it, right?
Does everybody at home, wherever you are, do you absolutely zero zilch? And again, Pat, we talked about this last week. I could never be the president because of the leverage and stuff that has to do with any of this nonsense. Do I think Bill Clinton was with 8-year-olds? No. Do I think he was with, under my opinion, with some underage girls that were doing stuff? That's my opinion. Why would Epstein come to the White House 17 times? What are you doing hanging out with that guy? And I don't know how many times everything. That's all the Democrats want to do is keep going to Trump. Keep going to Trump. He's the one that called the FBI on Epstein, okay? Bill Clinton himself is telling you, he's not involved. He's not involved. Do I believe that they're kind of, looking out for each other because of the whole presidential status? Listen, you know where I stand. If you did anything, and there's proof, which I do believe that the files show proof, especially with the victims, and God willing that they're alive, there needs to be arrest. There needs to be an arrest made. I don't care if he's the president. I don't care if he's the Pope. I don't care. I want somebody to be arrested. I want somebody to be put in jail, just like they're doing in the UK. You mean to tell me an ex-prince, that he lost his title? He's not the prince. He's not the duke. He's just in the back of a car, scared out of his mind, and they put his ass in jail, and now he has a record. I want that, Pat. So all this, no, I can't believe they're doing this to Bill Clinton. I'm not a fan of it at all. But again, I'm not the president. I'm a Christian. I can't make those decisions and use leverage for people that did crimes because I want to use them for other things. I'm not a fan of it, Tom. I'm sorry.
I'll tell you, listening to Hillary testify is kind of listening to the CIA testify. We have not overthrown any countries of which we are aware. You know, you listen to them carefully say, and she's like, I do not recall the picture. I don't recall meeting the man that I'm in the picture they're meeting. Wait, what? You do not recall meeting the man, and you've never met the man that you're in the picture they're meeting? Yes. So I put all that aside. I hate the fact that we have former presidents that are being called in like this. I do not back off from what you're saying that I feel that the Clintons are dirty. I do not back off from that at all. But you know what? If this is the way it's going to be played, so every time we elect a president now, the other president comes into court, goes back and forth. Ask Brazil how this works.
Yeah.
It's terrible. It's disruptive. It doesn't bring a country together. But if that's the new reality of what we're living in, you know, okay. And by the way, if you listen carefully to that Democrat, I think there were Democrats that wanted to put Clinton in there, not push him terribly hard, but get him in there so they could get President Trump in there as a sitting president because they want to impeach him and they can't wait for the midterms to see if they have the votes to impeach him. I think this is 3D chess. I think that's what's going on.
But Tom, when it comes to Bill Clinton, though, you have to look at the history of like Juanita Broderick coming forward and saying what he did to her, the multiple sexual assault allegations, and then you have Hillary Clinton going after the women and bashing them. Which
comment I just made,
yeah.
The entire basket is represented there. I am with you.
Oh, no, I agree 100%. But when you say, you know, and because they're going to keep willing the presidents, if you are guilty of a crime, I don't care. You have to face justice because if that's the case, Tom, then the president could do whatever they want. Whenever
hearings on Obama for Russia and for the things
you're not
that
going
he
to see any of that.
personally had knowledge of.
They all get presidential immunity. That's the one problem that I have when it comes to this government nonsense and he sits there with
Unless
that
your name is
face.
Trump, then you get indicted.
No, of course, they try to destroy you and they shoot you in your head.
Yes, this. Tom, you wanted to talk about this elite doctor served Jeffrey Epstein while treating his girls. New York Times story that just came out. A plastic surgeon from Mount Sinai closed a young woman's head wound with 35 stitches on Epstein dining room table. An internist in West Palm Beach ordered a blood test for another woman, then reported the abnormal results back to Epstein. A dentist at Columbia University asked Epstein how much work he wanted done on a girl with severe tooth decay. What is this reporting here, Tom?
What he's pointing out is that Elvis had Dr. Nick. Michael Jackson had a doctor. Epstein had doctors too. So when we start unpacking this, what you're going to find is you get doctors in there that can be testifying. Why aren't these doctors being called to hearings and asked, who did you operate on? Were you in a sterile surgical environment? What were you doing here? Mm-hmm. What did you do? So if a paramedic, Pat, in this country, let's say a paramedic is called to a home and there's a child that has suffered, a trauma. The paramedics are obligated to tell the hospital, says, hey man, let's get care for this kid. But I think there was something going on at that house. We got to see if something happened at that house. And the paramedics will report to authorities if they believe there was an abuse or there was like a parent-inflicted injury on that child. And so now, if you've got doctors making house calls, I want to know where these doctors are, and I want to know why they're not in front of a hearing with a hand up to answer questions about wait, you got called? You're putting stitches in somebody's head on the dining room table of a home? Whoa.
Oh, let me read this to you. It's disturbing. So Epstein used some doctors to manipulate young women from overseas who were having sex with him. This is, again, New York Times. He directed women to get pelvic exams, liposuction, and mole removals and paid for a range of specialty treatments from $800 an hour psychiatric therapy to root canal. He also abruptly cut off women's care at times. An assistant once forwarded him a plea from a woman asking for $600 to refill her acne prescription. Ignore, Epstein replied. Some doctors sent Epstein's sexual partners elsewhere for gonorrhea treatment so that when their case was reported to public health authorities, they wouldn't be tied to Epstein. Some doctors also shared patients' private health information with them. One woman wrote to Epstein that all the doctors you pay directly keep you well informed about my treatments. Epstein dismissed her concerns, saying the doctors take the time to make sure I'm happy. Epstein rewarded preferred doctors with hefty payments, Apple Watches, celebrity introductions, and vacations on private islands and New Mexico ranch. One cash-strapped dermatologist asked Epstein to co-sign his car lease. Epstein also wrote large checks for some doctors, research, and charity work, and donated more than $375,000 to Mount Sinai, much of it to breast cancer center by Dr. Ava Dubin, who dated him in 1980s. Dr. Dubin became Epstein's conduit to Mount Sinai, connecting him and women in his orbit with doctors there and arranged positions at hospitals for at least 2 young women at Epstein's request.
So where's the hearing? It sounds
Insane.
like we could have a large parade of doctors asking them specifically about victims and about services. This, by the way, you know what this would be similar to, Pat? When the FBI got Capone's accountant. A key to everybody else.
Got it. Adam.
Well, obviously, whatever happened with Epstein, we're going to figure out what happened there. But can I go back to the Bill Clinton thing? I don't know what's going to happen with Bill Clinton, but
Comment on this, then go to Bill Clinton. Comment here, then go back to Clinton.
okay. So, as far as this was the dentist.
Yes.
So I mean, when someone
having
dies,
access. If those doctors are around, if you get to those doctors, what can you learn from what those doctors did for Epstein?
let's subpoena them and let's have them talk. I mean, you can learn a lot from these
Please,
people.
like that's a great angle.
At the same time, if they did nothing wrong and he was just, But by the way, okay, so either this doctor is guilty of being complicit in.
Well, that's malpractice. You can't be practicing dentistry on. Look at he's laying on a freaking bed in like a massage
we can
room
see his face.
with Vaseline on the freaking bed. If that's a Vaseline,
I don't know if there's anything illegal about operating, doing dentistry on an island. I don't know.
I think it is.
But we see his face. Let's subpoena the guy. So, but to me, he's a small piece of the puzzle. The Bill Clinton thing is kind of what I wanted to address. It seems to me that Trump is kind of like defending Bill Clinton, or Bill Clinton is almost like not throwing Trump under the bus. Why is that? Because there seems to be a brotherhood of the presidency. Do you know how many people are alive today that shared the presidency? 5. Trump, Biden, Obama, Bush,
Biden's
and
alive?
Clinton. Biden's mostly alive. Good, that's true. But there is a brotherhood, and to me,
Mostly alive.
The words, the
partially
rhetoric
dead.
that they say, Trump's a fascist. Okay, Joe Biden is the worst president ever. Barack Hussein Obama. But what happens when they're in the same room together? Were they at Jimmy Carter's funeral about a year ago? Were they all not sitting together, shaking hands?
Not Michelle.
Playing
Not
nice?
Michelle.
Not Michelle. She's not a president, and she is a woman apparently. But when the presidents are in the same room together, they at least respect each other. Because let's respect the office of the presidency. Regardless of what you think about the Democrats or the Republicans, there's 5 presidents alive who know what it's like to be in the Oval Office.
But can I
2 of the greatest presidents that we've had in our lifetime are still alive. That's Trump and Clinton. Say what you want about Clinton's decisions. He was a great president, and the 3rd president on that list, to me, is Reagan. So they were both impeached. I think they're both ladies' men. I think that there's Bill Clinton looking at Trump being like, you son of a gun,
Vinny.
you have the life that I want. But I think they're going to stick up for each other, and that's because if one goes down, they all go down.
Vinny.
But Adam, to hell with the office of the presidency if that includes somebody that is on camera, video, sitting in hot tubs with all these women during and after your presidency and flying on.
What did he do that was illegal?
What, Adam? He's a married. First
What
of all,
did he do? Oh, so he cheated? That's
wait,
illegal?
hold on 1 second, Adam.
So he cheated on his wife? So that means Donald Trump's going to be in trouble.
I've never asked you a question.
That means Reagan's going to be in
right
trouble.
After. You ask a question.
What did he do that was illegal?
Adam, there's over a million. Okay, I'll
Go ahead.
wait.
Guys.
I'll wait.
What did he
Can
do
he
that was
finish?
illegal?
And then
No, Tom. Adam, go ahead and finish what you're going to say.
I've asked you the
I'll let you
question.
finish. Adam, they've redacted everything. We don't know who's in the emails. We don't know what they've done. We can't see the 10,000 hours of child porn that she was talking about. So how are we ever going to get to the bottom of it? We can't see anything.
Stay focused
And
on
wherever-
Bill Clinton,
Hold on, wherever
not
his
Epstein.
name is,
Bill
Adam,
Clinton.
wherever his name is, in emails and stuff like that, it's all gone. Ready for this? Release the other 3 million so I can see if he's in there. Because Adam,
gonna read it?
Adam, because let me ask you a question, Adam. Why was Epstein going to the White House 17 times to talk about what? I'm just curious. Hold on, it's not illegal. Why is he there? What is he doing there?
Bill
and
Clinton
why,
was deposed. Let him answer that.
No, okay, hold on. And then why is it that the guy that signed him on was mysteriously hanging from a tree with a shotgun shot chest, a hole in his chest, and the gun was never found, and they ruled it a suicide? Why would Juanita Broderick
these
lie
are
about
these
him?
are great stories to ask.
No,
these are great questions to ask.
Well, we're not going to see.
What has he been found guilty of?
Adam, because of the brotherhood that you're talking about, none of them get in trouble.
So
and that's why it's frustrating.
It's interesting that we will defend Trump, all these allegations, but he wasn't found guilty of anything. But yet we're going to try to double down on allegations about Clinton.
Wait. You cannot compare. You cannot compare.
I think Bill
the
Clinton,
DOJ and them coming up with trumping up charges about how much his house was and the fake impeachment phone calls. You can't do. Bill Clinton went there. Bill Clinton was on the island. Bill Clinton hung out with him. Bill Clinton's in the hot tubs. Bill Clinton is on record with Juanita Broderick saying that he basically tried to rape her.
Yes, he
and
was.
almost bit her lip off.
So you ready?
People would call him what?
Was he found guilty of?
Adam, guess what? There's murderers walking around right now that were never found guilty because guess what? They're good at what they do. He's the president. He knows he's untouchable. He knows he's untouchable.
So we have a rule of
Obama's
law.
untouchable.
We have a rule of law in this country, and unless you're found guilty of something, people can do hot air all they want.
Do you think Bill Clinton
works
did
the
anything?
same thing for Trump and Clinton?
Okay, what do you mean? It's not the same thing, Adam.
He hasn't
Trump
been
is
found
in the
guilty
files.
of anything.
Adam, because
I'm
the
just
justice
stating
system is
the
protecting
facts.
him. The Department of Justice is protecting him.
Well,
period.
Then
and I'm not a fan of it. I'm not a fan of it. Do you trust Bill Clinton? You don't think Bill Clinton?
By the way, just so you know, just so you know, when this Iran thing is over with, this is not going away.
Absolutely not.
Just so you know that.
Absolutely not.
If this lasts 30 days, 2 months, 3 months, this is still going to be there when they come back.
I don't disagree.
Yeah, I'm just telling you. So they still, have to find a way to address this as well.
Why is Trump
because
defending Clinton?
You can go 3 different reasons why he's defending Clinton. 1, they're both womanizers.
Yeah.
2, they both partied with women.
Yes.
3, they're both presidents.
Yes.
4, you don't want to see a president being held up because it's going to come back to you as well.
I agree.
There's many things you can look at, but it's not just a brotherhood as well. Okay, Trump is a brilliant guy who understands what to do to minimize the noise, and he wanted Bill to say, "I've never seen Trump do anything out there with women," and he wanted that to come out, and it came out.
Yep.
So who knows? Who knows what's going to happen with these guys? Listen, as we're going through this, the one thing that we can't recognize enough for what they do is the armed forces, the folks in the Army, Navy, Marines, Air Force, every one of these guys on what they're doing. Without them, you and I wouldn't have the freedom that we have to be safe, to go out there and do what we're doing. Sometimes you forget about the military, but if you're somebody that served in the military and you believe the future looks bright, or you have a friend or a family that does, and you want to recognize them, Rob, if you can go up, VT merch, we have an armed force collection. If you can go down a little bit, there's 2 hats that every time we get them, we can't keep them on. That's one of them, but keep going down, keep going down, keep going down, keep going down. That one to the right, you see that one zoom in? This one, whenever it comes in, it goes just as quickly.
I love that.
It's an incredible, by the way, if you want to get, the future looks bright, green, camo. And then also, Rob, go back if you can. There's another one as well on the bottom left. Keep going, keep going, keep going right there. Those two are 2 of the most popular hats that we have for folks in the military that wear with Future Looks Bright on the right side. So put the link below, Rob. Go to vtmerch.com, place an order, especially at a time like this. Represent our military for the patriotic job that they're doing out there. If you enjoyed this video, you want to watch more videos like this, click here. And if you want to watch the entire podcast, click here.